welcome to a very special edition of the Cine-Files, where we are concluding our month of Kurosawa. John, how has this been for you?
This has been so much fun. I wish I could say it in Japanese, but I'm extremely excited that we have tackled the month of Kurosawa and done so many great things talking about these legendary filmmaker, but also what we did for Seven Samurai. We've got a lot of great responses from people over that, and this I'm really excited about because we haven't done a commentary since maybe Apocalypse Now, or did we do one before Apocalypse Now?
Oh, no, we've done, since Apocalypse Now, we did Citizen Kane.
Oh, yes, we did.
And we did Psycho.
I'm getting old and I'm forgetting things. That's right. We did do Psycho. I remember that
Well,
one.
this has become our tradition to conclude our month of a director.
Yes.
With a commentary track. And I wonder what our director is going to be next year. I have no idea. I literally I actually think that we chose Kurosawa as we were finishing Hitchcock a year ago.
Right.
But we didn't tell anyone else, of course. You and I knew.
No.
But at this moment, I have no idea what our next director is.
Yeah, because what we've done is chosen directors that have a distinct voice in their work, right? And although you could say Billy Wilder's an excellent choice, so many different genres, but Billy Wilder will come up many times for us, I imagine, as we do these episodes. So it's about finding the right director that kind of fits in that niche. I don't know. Tarantino seems to be a possibility. Maybe down the road, Denis Villeneuve as an auteur filmmaker could be interesting down the road. Are there any French? I mean, do we do Fellini? Do we do
Godard or Truffaut?
Or Truffaut is a possibility.
Although neither you or I are huge Truffaut fans.
No, I do like Breathless.
Well, that's Godard.
That's Godard. I like Godard. I don't like much of Truffaut or Antonioni. I'm not the biggest fan of his stuff either. Italian.
I like him a little more. We've never done Ingmar Bergman on this show.
Oh, we have never done Bergman.
We've never done Bergman, so that's a huge one, obviously. Yeah. We're talking about, I think this year is going to be a whole month of The Godfather.
Yes.
So that would be, if we didn't do that this year, then Coppola and The Godfather.
Coppola might be interesting. A Coppola month of Coppola, I think would be fun as hell.
Yeah. And there are other directors who are like, we've already done a lot. We've done a fair amount of Kubrick. Like we've done a ton of Spielberg. We've done a lot of Tarantino. Mm-hmm. Like so those ones I don't think would be ones that we would do necessarily. Although there certainly are plenty of Spielberg movies we haven't talked about, and he's certainly worthy of a month.
Spike Lee's a possibility. We've rarely done any Spike Lee.
We've done none.
We've done none. So Spike Lee might be the next one we tackle.
That's so you know what? And of course, we love to hear your opinions on what you think the January 2021, what director should we devote a month to? We got a lot of time, but we'd love to hear what you think. But this has been the month of Kurosawa. And we put out, again, to all of our fans of what Kurosawa film they wanted us to do a commentary track, and they chose Yojimbo.
I thought other things might have a shot, like High and Low, Rashomon, things of that nature. Ron, which is so fantastic, one of our personal favorites. But Yojimbo is the one that I think is you could argue maybe, although Seven Samurai is the most beloved and respected, Yojimbo may be the most popular of Kurosawa's films because of what it spawned, but also because of the performances from Mifune and Tatsuya Nakadai in the film.
I mean, it's so interesting to me because having just come off Seven Samurai, which is so heavy and serious and filled with nuance and subtlety and deep humanity, and now we go to Yojimbo, which is a great film.
Yes,
but it is none of those things.
It has its own voice in a populist way, which is also part of Kurosawa's approach to films as well. He had an incredible ability to walk the line between populist fare and more deeper, intelligent fare that challenged you as a viewer. So I'm excited to see if maybe as we're watching it, I know we already covered it on the Cine-Files, but maybe as we're watching it now, something will occur to us as we're watching.
Well, here's the thought that I had. So normally, obviously, I always try to be very, very prepared. I did not watch this film ahead of time, and I'll tell you, this is the ridiculous rationalization for that. One of the things we talked about in Seven Samurai that I love is the fact that it's really about strategy. It's strategy and intelligence and preparation, and that's what wins that battle.
Yeah.
It's the Takashi Shimura character figuring it all out, the discipline of it. I think this movie is to some degree the opposite, because I think there's the idea of flow state. You hear athletes talk about that today, of putting yourself into the situation and just letting yourself do what you're going to do.
Yes.
And that relates a lot to things that Zen has been thinking about for 1,000 years. And if you look at martial arts and Zen philosophy and meditation as it relates to martial arts and things like that, they're really talking about that same idea, flow state.
Yes.
Of how do you get into it? I think Toshiro Mifune in this film chooses purposely to put himself in situations that he's not in control of and have flow state, rather than the Takashi Shimura, which this is the plan and this is how we're going to execute it step by step by step. This is, I'm going to throw up a stick and see where I go.
Yeah.
And then walk into a situation. And so I have decided to try to be in flow state, to just allow the movie to wash over me.
Yes.
And see what my response is.
Well, I would argue, as knowledgeable as you are about film, just like he is about his abilities in any situation, it makes sense. You will probably get away with it, and it's no problem. And I'm personally happy that you haven't seen it, because now we get to experience it kind of fresh after a while.
This has been a year, couple of years since we did this episode, I think.
Yeah. I think I've seen the film. I don't think I've seen the film all the way through since then. I might have seen like some scenes in passing, flipping channels or whatever. But yeah, so that'll be fun to explore for me as well. And I like to flow as well.
Then let's flow right into let's flow right in the movie. You have a remote control ready.
I do. Shall we count it down?
Yes, we should. And those of you who are out watching, I hope you have your Blu-ray in or your iTunes up or however you choose to watch your movies. Maybe you went to Cine-Files.net and you went to Amazon Prime and are streaming it through there. That would be the best way for you to do this.
Agreed.
And we're going to count down, so you get your thing paused and ready. And here we go. We are starting Yojimbo in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have a black screen.
Yeah, and a black screen.
Ours has a Criterion Collection symbol coming up.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to own this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Janus Films. I don't know much about Janus Films, do you?
No, I haven't explored that much about them myself as well.
We start with that great music, that great drum.
Yeah. Toho.
It's funny how Toho and Golden Harvest to me always meant something very specific.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Toho for me initially obviously was Godzilla.
Oh, right, of course.
First as a child growing up watching those Godzilla films, and then eventually Kurosawa stuff, and Golden Harvest, of course, with the martial arts.
Oh. There's the mountain.
Right.
Yojimbo. And Mifune like the mountain.
Yeah. Great
that shoulder move.
And great deep bass here to announce that this is a powerful presence coming into the screen and coming into this world.
It's so crazy that he shot this 7 years after Seven Samurai.
Right.
Because he is totally different. Mm-hmm. He looks decades older.
Yeah, true. And certainly more calm.
Oh, yeah.
And what's interesting, too, about the music is, like, this is more almost modernized music, even though it has obviously a lot of shades of stuff feels from that time period. The rhythms, the beats of the music feels very modern of the 60s when this came out, or late 50s when this came out.
Well, it has that. It's serious and it's fun.
Yes.
Like, and I think the opening of this shot of just looking at this guy's back as he sort of scratches, and you see his hair is not, it's kind of messy. Yeah. And you get a sense of this guy right from the beginning.
Right. And the thing is, what was his name in Seven Samurai? Kikuchiyo?
Kikuchiyo,
If Kikuchiyo doesn't die, maybe this is Kikuchiyo. 7 years of going through these, and he's a more settled
Kikuchiyo
guy.
could ever be this controlled.
I don't know.
I mean, Kikuchiyo has
not
that
as wild as I was in my 20s.
That's true.
Maybe.
That's fair.
Maybe he calms down a little bit more, and having seasoned through more and more battles, but he still has that shoulder move is his arrogant little thing of like messing with people. I don't know.
Well, what's interesting about this guy, and the camera has panned down to, we see his feet walking. What's interesting about this guy is there is a, I don't give a shit kind of element to him.
Right. A fatalistic approach to the world. Yeah. And not suicidal, fatalistic. There's a difference.
Yeah. And we've come to a crossroads. And I think this is just a great, great moment of what to do at the crossroads.
Right. Like life.
Yeah. We just have natural sound.
Have you ever had a crossroads?
In life?
Yes. Have you ever stood and go, which way should I do this or not?
It's funny, when I was younger, it always seemed very clear to me.
As it does when you're young.
And now that I'm older, it's like, no, of course. I feel like I'm at one right now.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I feel like I'm not going to teach as much this semester. I want to focus on this podcast. I want to focus on writing a book.
Yeah.
I got some other possible projects starting. It's kind of going, okay, what's the next decade going to be like?
Are you flipping up a stick?
I'm just going to say, maybe I should just throw a stick up. And this is what I mean by this idea of this movie based on kind of zen and flow.
Yeah.
Like, he's just, I guess I'll go this way.
A randomness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you feel uber confident about your abilities in any situation, going any direction, you feel you will get out of it. You'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
And then right in front.
And here's this argument right in front of Mifune with him out of focus in the background between this farmer and his son, and his son wants to go off and do other things.
How does this feel familiar? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It could be Kikuchiyo seeing his life at a earlier stage when he ran away from his farm to go and try and be a samurai.
Yep.
You're right. He looks decades older.
He does. It's like a different person.
Yeah.
Well, listen, a lot of drinking will do that to you.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's almost like Excalibur, right? How the difference between Arthur at the beginning of the movie and Arthur, like when he's older.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same actor in the same time frame.
Well, and this is the thing that Kurosawa really saw. We talked about it with both Mifune and Takashi Shimura, is the ability to see these actors as different things.
Right.
You could be the bandit in Rashomon. You could be in High and Low. You could be in Stray Dog. You could be Kikuchiyo and Seven Samurai, and then Sanjuro and Yojimbo.
Yeah. And these things they're arguing about, right? This idea of the kid running off. Once again, these kind of modern situations happening at a way earlier time period. Kid running off to go be a gambler. They think just one role and they can be rich instead of working for their lives, which is probably what was happening as transitioning into that rebellious 60s where the kids didn't want to work in the same way. They were angry at the world and protesting and marching and these kinds of things. And maybe that was happening in Japanese culture as well, or society.
Yeah. Well, and of course we have Mifune, who's just the observer.
Yes.
Just there. And the farmer just threw some shade on him. Hungry dogs come running. And he just, it's interesting to see this farmer slam the door on this dude with a big sword.
Yeah. Dismissively so.
Yeah. We've made it to town. Right? You have, obviously this is hugely influential on the spaghetti westerns and The Man with No Name, but the music is so like gunslinger-ish of that era, And of course, it makes sense, the lineage between John Ford and the classic American Western and Kurosawa, and who loved those films, and then he inspired Westerns later on. That's just amazing.
It's always they're both connected genres all the time, influencing each other.
And here we have the town immediately going, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And we'll see this thing of opening and closing doors and screens and looking through things is just part of this film from beginning to end.
Yeah.
This long lens shot. Of course, I love long lenses, and you can tell. Oh, there it is. There it is. I think this is a 500 millimeter lens on this.
Wow. And once again, a moment that could be, if you play a different score under here, there's a sense of horror, but it's a more playful score.
Yep.
So you don't take it too seriously. It almost excites you to see what this is. Where did that hand come from? How did the dog get a hold of it? That kind of jazz.
So the music that just played, it just popped into my brain. You know what it sounds like that I am certain they referenced?
Yeah.
Is one of my guilty pleasures is Way of the Dragon.
Oh,
the music in Way of the Dragon, I bet they tempt with this music. That theme right there.
What is Way of the Dragon for the people that don't know? It's Bruce Lee, right?
Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Way of the Dragon.
And he's just trying to figure out what's going on, get the lay of the land. So this is the innkeeper. He is in Seven Samurai. This is the bandit that Takashi Shimura kills at the very beginning with the bowl of rice.
Right. Forever connected.
And he says, hey, you can make some money as a bodyguard, which is what Yojimbo means, bodyguard. And this is one of the two people, Sebe, who's one of the gangster commander guys.
Yeah.
Again, this is all shot with long lenses.
But their reaction to him is so interesting too, because like, do they just wait? Like when a stranger comes in, do they just kind of like get excited by the possibility of either play? Because it's almost like they want to play with him. Like they're both, I don't know, they're both like wolves, and like a sheep. What they think is a sheep wanders in between them, and they think they can play it until they eat it. Play with it until they eat it.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I was thinking that they're all responding to him like he's a wolf.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I mean, look at this moment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a whole bunch of dudes just came out and surrounded him. He's a threat. We don't know, because he's obviously a samurai.
Right.
And the dude with the hammer.
I'd love to know this guy's story. I'd love to hear Kurosawa talk about this guy. Because as people know, it's not like there are that many tall
I love Mifune's reaction.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Well, Mifune's 5'8". So that guy's got to be 6'6" more.
This is the second time he's been called the dog.
Yep. Well, and, we got 25 guys. That guy's clearly not a threat.
Yeah.
So now he's going to walk down towards the other side of town, I think.
And he's in essence a Ronin here, isn't he? A masterless samurai.
Sure. Yeah. It's so funny how this is all just exposition, and we haven't had our main character say anything. And this is a set we're going to spend a lot of time in.
Yeah.
And I love the design. I love that we think we're in this, walled up room, and there's light streaming in from the outside through the slats. But what we're going to find out, I think, is that all these little windows open and close to look out into the town.
But there's a calmness to him, right? Like he didn't overreact to those people running out.
Nope.
Then when he gets offered sake, instead he takes rice. He doesn't care if it's cold. For him, it's just like, whatever it takes.
And this is our innkeeper is not happy, doesn't want any more violence in this town.
Right.
Well, and this is the thing. I feel like we talked about this when we did the episode, is what Yojimbo does to this town actually a good thing?
It's a good question.
I mean, a lot of people are going to die by the time he gets out of here.
True. Then again, if they just accepted him with open arms, they wouldn't have died.
So we hear the sound of the coffin maker here. I wonder if Kurosawa was thinking about High Noon, because the coffin maker plays such a big part.
Good point. But also it's smart because it keeps you unsettled, but also it foreshadows something that's coming later. This idea of death, this idea of coffins. So now we're getting more exposition here, as you said.
And what we find out is there are these two kind of mob bosses, and they're each fighting for power in the town, and that's been going on a while.
Yeah. And you talk about how you should do exposition, right? We always talk about the clumsy way and the correct way to do it. And having this is natural because it's a stranger. Why wouldn't they want to talk to him and tell him what's going on? It makes sense. I
think if a student had written this in a script, I would have probably said this was clumsy exposition.
Really?
Absolutely. Because it's just a dude, why are they telling him this, and why are they going on and on? Here's everything you need to know.
Right.
This is what I call front loading.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, I would have probably said you can do this smoother. But in the film, it's great.
It is.
This is why Kurosawa is a master filmmaker, and I'm not,
Well, right. And the exposition here is, then there's that guy. He's one of the 7 samurai, right? Isn't he?
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it's just I think he's got some teeth or something to do with.
Is that Heihachi?
I think so.
The wood chopper. You know, one thing I didn't say when we did our Seven Samurai episode, I think it is that he is in the most. If that is him,
yeah,
he's in the most Kurosawa films behind Shimura and Mifune.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's him. Or the teeth and
I'm
everything is done to make it look that way.
And that's one of the bad guy's brothers, who is described as a dangerous halfwit. And again, we get these things. These are these windows we're going to look out into the world through.
Yeah.
Things slide up. The filming is just so beautiful.
To me, also, I like the little things that Mifune is doing here. The way he's eating the rice, like 3 quick slabs into his mouth.
I remember when I finally, I don't know if it was this movie, but where I finally learned like how to eat rice with chopsticks.
Yeah.
Because you lift the bowl to your mouth. That makes it easier.
Of course.
Picking up a grain of rice with some chopsticks is difficult.
It is not easy.
Yeah.
Right, now we're getting the whole lowdown of everyone who's involved.
See all these frames within frames.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's funny, for all of my, you should have clear ways to do your exposition that are not just front loading it all.
Right.
Sometimes there's times like, well, just get it over with.
Yeah.
You're working so hard to get your exposition out in a clever way.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have someone say it and be done?
But also you're getting a lay of the town, right? You're getting who's where and who's on what side and things of that nature. So I think it's a smart way he did it as well. But it's so funny because he says, I don't want any fighting, but he tells him all the
scumbags,
everything that's happening in the town, all the sides he could take.
And he's saying, eat quickly and leave.
Yeah.
And this is one of the key questions of the movie. Why doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because that's the moment. I think when he fully explains how messed up this town is, Mifune goes, yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks 30 years older than he did 7 years ago as Kikuchiyo.
His voice is deeper.
Yeah.
The whole nine. The pace is different.
Yep.
Nope. See, now he says he's going to do this so they can give him a fresh start. The town a fresh start.
Well, what's so weird about this movie is we don't see any town other than bad guys.
Right.
Like we see a couple of people.
Yeah, like him.
Yeah. But not many.
Right.
Like it's not like a thriving community. Thinking and drinking.
But there's also something we said for people who like exist in a town like this and just kind of deal with the drama of it all just to stay alive.
Look at the framing of this
Yeah.
shot. We had the opposite before, 3 in the foreground with him in the background, and now we have him in the foreground, the 3 of them in the background. We have the wind, the town, of course, that I think was built for this.
Yeah. Also, instead of tumbleweeds, it's the leaves blowing across. It's great. That kind of Western vibe and samurai vibe to it all.
And this is rolling up to the saloon.
Mm-hmm.
So he's ready to be Yojimbo, the bodyguard. And he's gonna prove it.
Yeah.
And we all go, cool.
How? So do you think, now that's a good question here, if I say so myself, do you think at what point has he decided the plan that he's going to go
Well, this is what I was being about flow state is I think he's decided one step ahead.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's 3 steps ahead.
Okay.
I think he's like, I'm going to go do this and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and maybe you're right, because maybe he's like, let me see how stupid these guys really are, how much I can manipulate them, and let's see, step by step, I'll figure it out what my next move is going to be. But of course, there was a wipe between sake and drinking. So there was some time that could be assumed that he was thinking about what he was going to do.
Because it's like if this was Kanbei in Seven Samurai, he would have wanted information on the bad guys, and he would have looked at the location, and he would have made a plan. And he didn't do that. He just walked up and said, I'm just gonna go pick a fight.
Right, which I think Kikuchiyo would do.
True. True.
But this is also now these guys who had just run out and accosted him. Now he knows he can prove his worth here by messing with these guys because they came at him first.
Yeah. So he's gonna talk some smack.
Mm-hmm.
I also go this guy, like our Seven Samurai characters, he's been through the wars.
Yes.
This movie takes place a couple hundred years later.
Yeah.
At the end of the Tokugawa period.
Also, the way they're dressed, right? It's very much villainous. So immediately a hero.
And kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
Weird. That guy's weird hair and strange many fabric clothes and
right. They're preening for effect.
Yeah. Lose that arm. And I love that he does it and then then the sword is put back in and he does his little shoulder stretch and walks away.
Yep. I like that he cuts off the arm with the prison tattoo on it too, as a symbol of how ridiculous that was to prove you're some kind of man.
2 coffins don't make that 3.
The home is going to bleed out.
Well, and this is the thing I was thinking about is that was really violent. What we just saw. I don't know when we saw when the first severed arms were in a movie, but I don't know a lot of things like that earlier than this.
Good question.
But it was fun.
Yes. Also, realistic, Steve. Samurai fights don't go on for 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The best samurai fights are quick, and I love that Kurosawa always honored that in his movies.
Yeah. Have you ever held a real katana?
Once, and it was life-changing, and I put it back because I knew I would have 30 of them if I started to fall in love with them, so I've kept my distance.
They're very scary.
Yes.
I've held them. And what's so scary about them is how they're razor sharp.
Yes. Which is why I love that homage in Pulp Fiction when Willis pulls out that katana.
Now, you're in a good negotiating position. Have you ever thought about this for your next contract of just kill a bunch of dudes?
I should. If I killed a bunch of the Schmoedown competitors, go, you know what? I'm the last one left. Yeah. So you got to pay me more to be part of these matches. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but then they have to get a whole bunch of new competitors. Don't you generally go against the same people over and over again?
No, not anymore. Well, yeah, you could say that, I guess.
I still hear the same name.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
We're being real nice to this guy. And there's the wife.
Yeah.
She's a peach.
Sometimes the woman does run things.
And he immediately is, having little secret conversations in buildings with shoji screens.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like the best of plans.
No.
And this is where I go, he doesn't have a plan because he can't know that he's going to overhear what he's going to overhear.
Right.
He just reacts to whatever is happening.
Yeah. Again,
the framing is beautiful. And here we hear the fix is going to be in.
This is such a dumb thing for them to have this conversation, though, while he's actually in the house.
But I think this is a key thing because they go, we're going to betray him.
Yeah.
Then it's cool for Sanjuro to do all the stuff that he's going to do.
Yeah.
If he didn't hear this, then he is betraying them. Exactly. But since they're already going to screw him, it's fine.
Right.
And here we also establish this relationship with the son, who's supposed to inherit, who maybe isn't quite up to the...
Yeah.
I love this little look. A little sticking out his tongue.
And there isn't, like, there's no way there were samurai like this. Like, it's the anachronistic nature of it all that makes it so cool, you know?
I mean,
because it doesn't feel out of place.
No.
Even though it can look a bit anachronistic.
Well, you know what's funny? So, I'm going to spoil what our next movie is going to be.
Sure.
Which is that we are in honor of Terry Jones going to do Life of Brian coming up. And I just started doing some... Did you just lose sound?
No.
Oh, I just started...
Yes, I did. Hold on. Let's pause for a second here.
All right, we're pausing. Everyone pause your devices. Because we have a sound problem.
Okay.
I think we're back. And we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, play. Yes, we got our sound back. Sorry about that, Cine-Files.
Sorry, guys.
So one of the things is I was starting to do research on Life of Brian.
Yes.
Is that...
And just to let you know, we're at 23:45, 46, 47, just in case you want to sync back up.
Yep.
Okay.
Is one of their inspirations was they went and watched some of the great biblical classics, Quo Vadis, and her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they noticed that everyone talks in a very formal voice.
Yeah.
And they went... And what they said is it's as if they know that really important stuff is happening around them. And so they have to talk like that. And so one of the big things they did is like, we just want people to talk normal.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of the sense of humor in Life of Brian is people are just people talking about stuff. And in a way, some of that is true here.
Well, it's only through those movies that we believe people spoke a certain way at that time.
Yeah.
Sanjuro... which will be the next one, if I'm correct, right? Or
Sanjuro is the next one, yeah.
Right, so a little reference to Sanjuro there, something about it.
Now, is that his name?
What? It's a field, right? Isn't it?
Mulberry Field or something. But did he just make up that name, or is that really
question?
his name?
I don't know, right? Good question.
I always felt like he just made it up. So this guy is the guy who played Sanshiro Sugata in Kurosawa's first film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we have the three... Wow. So we have his first film star.
Yes.
We have the star of his middle years, Mifune, and then you have the star of
what's to come.
His later ones with Tetsuo Nakadai.
I like that he's the older samurai, kind of not feeling happy that they brought another samurai in. Kind of works on a meta level as well.
Totally.
Look how scared they are about having to fight. See, it's great to talk big before you fight.
And how much Sanshiro just doesn't care.
Yeah, because he's actually been in fights.
Well, and I think he already knows he's not going to fight.
Right.
Because he doesn't care.
He's enjoying the spoils, though, that's for sure.
Watching Mifune's little looks throughout this film is so fun. Nice wipe. And we're going to go out and have a battle. Oh, I like this guy. This is the 3:00 and all's well guy.
Yeah.
And of course, what time is it? It's high noon.
That's right.
So again, these are long lens shots. And one of the ways you can always tell is how much size change is there in foreground and background.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of size change, a huge giant head with a tiny, tiny person in the background, that's a wide angle lens. And if there's not a lot of size change, then it's a long lens. But what the long lenses mean is that you have to be really, really far away. And if you want this deep focus like Kurosawa has, you have to have tons and tons of light. Yeah. So it might not just be daylight out here. They might have huge, huge lights on everything.
Yeah.
In order to keep these things in focus.
Well, the question you have to ask aside from the like story-wise, why are these women in the brothel, like how many men are coming through the town who aren't already in the town?
Where are the people that are buying the sake?
Yeah,
like,
true. Good.
Where is the money coming from for these criminals? I mean, it seems, I love this guy's just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Smart samurai.
Like, see you later. I'm good. And I love this little bit of eye contact.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the smile. He's almost saying, good luck with Kurosawa, son.
See you later.
You'll leave just like I did over the fence. You'll see.
Well, this is, I think this movie, I love those looks.
It's so great. The meta
and the smile
is fantastic.
Something we talked about for years now on this show is how we feel about violence.
Yeah.
because we can have violence that's thrilling and violence that's depressing and violence that's fun.
Yes.
And even though as far as we know, a whole bunch of people are going to die in the next minute.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this seems like fun.
Yes. Well, because they're all kind of ridiculous. And so their deaths don't really carry weight.
Right. Well, and I love that our bad guys have gone, oh, we got this good fighter. Well, let's just start a war right now.
Right.
Like, what is their plan? Like, what? They don't know anything about this guy.
That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, he fought pretty well once, but he's just one guy.
It's almost like trench warfare, too. Yeah, right? Everyone's the skirmish, and you get, 30 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet? Yeah, I'm not interested.
And, of course, he just goes, I'm out.
I tend to be killed after your victory.
And I like that he drops the money on the ground.
It's so brilliant because Homa obviously was the samurai that was in residence until he showed up, right? And so he's like, I'm out of here now. I can hand this off to someone else.
See, I don't think he knew what he was going to do until that moment. I think he walked forward. I think part of him was going, maybe I'll join you guys. And then when he looked back, he says, oh, that's all. And now I see this little watchtower. I'm just going to go to the middle, see what happens. What's so interesting about what he does is it seems as if there was a stalemate before he shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And now he is going to mess up the stalemate. I wonder how many great scenes in Kurosawa films don't have weather, don't have rain or wind or heat, because it's so much a part of his filming.
It's true.
And
you know what? Shooting from this high up, from his angle, they're even more ridiculous. They're even smaller in the things that they're doing. And maybe this is Kurosawa's statement on war. We talked about, the nuclear bomb and how that affected him and his brother. And he always hated war for that. And his commentary throughout his films is to make fun of war or to denigrate war or to minimize war. And look at this. He's showing these two sides at war, and each one's afraid to fight the other. The stalemate is what matters, but they bumble around and stumble around anytime anyone makes a move because they're scared.
Well, because these guys are, classic bullies. They put forth a front to scare you and expect you to back down. But now it's like even numbers against both. Look at the classic construction of this shot.
Right.
He's in the middle, up high. They're slowly trying to get up the courage to fight.
Right.
But really what they're hoping is just, I really hope those other guys back down because I really don't want to be in a fight.
Isn't this the Cold War? This is the Cold War. This is Russia and America. Every once in a while, someone comes at the Cuban Missile Crisis or the Khrushchev stuff with Kennedy and, that kind of stuff, and then they retreat back to.
That's a great point. I wonder if Kurosawa was thinking that.
Oh, how could he not be? It's the 60s.
Yeah.
The Cold War is in full swing here.
Well, and Dr. Strangelove comes out 2 or 3 years after this.
Which is, essentially making fun of it as well.
So this inspector comes, and everyone goes, oh, good, we're not going to fight.
Right.
Do you think if the inspector hadn't come, they would have fought?
Yes. I think eventually there would have been some kind of clumsy, awkward battle.
And then they would have both run away a bit. But there would have been a little bit of something.
Right,
and then they would have.
Still showing off for their
Yep.
Underlings.
Got to look good for the inspector.
Yeah.
Act as if everything's normal.
And he couldn't have seen the inspector coming. So,
nope.
So in a way, Steve, you're right. I think he does have somewhat of a plan, but I think you're very right that it's all dependent on what happens next.
Yeah.
And he adjusts and troubleshoots accordingly.
I think he knows that he wants to destroy these sides by playing both sides. I think he knows that much.
Yes.
But as far as what's going to happen.
Right.
So now again, we're separated by these walls, but we can see through the walls. I just, it's such a beautiful construction, you know, and this is where, you know, filmmaking is planning. You know, that's one of the things. It's funny. I just finished a semester at school, and I had my students do a bunch of papers, and basically all the papers, I think everyone I've read so far talks about, because their papers are on what they learned at their last film project, talks about planning. Mm-hmm. I needed to be more prepared.
Wow.
I mean, and that's because filmmaking takes tremendous preparation. And you look at this, well, this idea was built in set design long before they had to, Kurosawa had this idea of this space that you could see through slats and open up and close windows and doors. And that was planned way, way, way in advance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he says it was all interrupted. There's also the possibility that whoever survived that battle, he was going to wipe them out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's so interesting about his strategy is, yes, they saw him use a sword very briefly.
Yes.
But by siding with one and then unsiding with them, his stock just went up.
Yeah.
You know? So rather than them all disliking him, which they should, because he killed a bunch of dudes on one side and then betrayed the other side, now they all want him more.
Yep.
Ah, the mayor.
And this is the first time the old man has turned around and he's interested in what he's seeing. Also, earlier, I want to say one thing. He says, Yojimbo says that man is a nobody, yet he drives a big car, right?
Right.
And this man is an inspector and all this kind of jazz. Once again, I think you can find symbolism here. You can find meanings here.
Well, because part of what it's saying is that this whole thing is corrupt.
Right.
The whole world is corrupt.
Right.
You know, and this is the end of the Tokugawa period and the beginning of the Meiji period, I think. And the Tokugawa period was a very, very strong central government for a long time.
Right.
And at this point, it's all starting to fall apart.
Yeah. And that's is that Takashi Shimura? No.
Yep.
It is, right?
It is. Yeah. And that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's so weird that he has this small part in this movie. And again, it's 7 years later.
Right.
And on the one hand, it's kind of nice that Kurosawa continues to use the same guys. And there's just part of me, it's like going, you couldn't have given him a slightly better part than this?
Well, look at Pacino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He only has 3 scenes.
Yeah, but
sometimes it's just working with the master again.
Here's what I feel like it's different.
Okay.
Because that is, oh, cool, it's Pacino.
Right.
He's got a little cameo. Isn't that awesome? This is like, here's an actor with a bit part. It doesn't, to me, that's how
you don't
it
think
feels.
at the time people were like, oh, Takashi Shimura's in this?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I love that word, palanquin.
I believe it is pronounced palanquin.
I love it even more now. Palanquin.
I believe.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
It's like bivouac. So. There's certain words that just stay with you. I love his face. He's so good with that teeth.
Well, it's like him and the Hammer Dude and to some degree Tetsuo Nakadai are these characters, you know,
or caricatures.
Caricatures, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I wonder how much of this has a basis in what we talked about in the first episode of Kurosawa, like the idea of it being.
Again, I love Mifune's looks.
Yeah. Does this have a basis in kabuki or anything like that? This idea of this caricature?
Know. That's a great question. I don't know.
There's the wife.
Yeah. I love the. I'm just gonna do nothing.
Yeah, because he's just like, I don't understand how to process this.
Mifune just sitting there. The innkeeper doesn't know what to do.
And we don't have a resolution in the situation.
No.
You know, which is very interesting. Yeah, once again, you talk about weather, Steve. Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah.
Just like at the end of Samurai.
Yeah.
Seven Samurai, the weather, the rain.
You know what would be a fun movie to do? Is to do the Yojimbo structure, Stranger Comes to Town, except it's Hollywood studios and the new filmmaker. Or the new agent or the new producer.
Yeah.
Who just plays different studios against each other.
Didn't The Player kind of do that?
I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
That might be something we could explore.
Well, we haven't done an Altman.
Yeah, we haven't done an Altman.
We haven't done an Altman. I would do, because I would love to do MASH.
Yes.
I would love to do Nashville.
Okay.
There are a couple of Altman movies I really like. And The Player. I like The Player a lot.
Yeah, Player would be good.
The funny thing about The Player to me is that I saw it before moving to LA.
Oh, okay.
And there were several like kind of Hollywood satire movies. Or maybe Player I saw right when I got here. And there's like Swimming with Sharks and there's The Big Picture. And,
Big Picture.
And all of those I thought were overblown satires. And then when I got to LA and started to be in this industry, I'm like, oh no, those are like documentaries.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's actually way crazier.
Underblown.
It's way, it's underblown.
There's more.
Yeah.
It's even more ridiculous than you think.
Yeah.
Dude is so scary. He reminds me of Jaws and James Bond.
Well, that's what I think when I said this is I wonder if he has that disease.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you, because he has those features.
Yeah.
So now we're ready to make another deal. Well, what happened was he had the two underlings come and he wouldn't make a deal with them. He needed the boss to come.
Right.
We get a little bit more of the machinations of the bad guys. One of the things that's interesting I guess it's similar in a way to Seven Samurai, which is that a lot of Japanese culture had pretty strong demarcations between class, caste. Now, this guy presents like a samurai, and yet he's a merchant. And what I wonder is he a samurai who's really become a merchant,
right?
Or is he a merchant pretending to be a samurai? His price is going up and up.
Well, of course. His position, his leverage is getting stronger and stronger. Which is a lesson for you kids.
Yeah.
Be good at what you do and don't rush into any deals.
That's good advice. Why is he happy that the inspector's leaving?
I don't know.
Because the inspector just needs a lot of bribery or
maybe.
And that's costing them or
right.
We should have been drinking sake.
In the middle of the day? Oh, I'm good. I don't like sake even on the regular day or regular time.
I didn't like sake until I started drinking cold sake.
Oh, okay.
Cold sake is good.
Right.
Hot sake, I don't like at all.
What was Kikuchiyo drinking in 7
Yeah, I don't think it was hot.
Yeah.
And I think it was unfiltered.
Oof, yeah.
Because it looked kind of creamy.
Yes. What is that instrument? Is it like a harpsichord or whatever it is?
I don't know.
Such an interesting choice. See, now he's become impatient.
Yeah.
He wants his plans to go forward.
I think it's an interesting statement. This is dangerous work. It's only worth it if the price is right.
Right.
What price do you think he's talking about? I mean, it seems like he's talking about money.
That he wins.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I think on some level he wants to do some good.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not altruistic the way our samurai and Seven Samurai are.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because in this film, the restaurateur, I guess you could say his name, or what he is our eyes into this whole thing.
Right.
He is like, in Seven Samurai, we can pick a samurai to connect to and follow. With this, Yojimbo's not really the one we're connecting to fully. We're watching him. We're not connecting.
Yeah, I don't think he's connected. He's so beyond us.
Yes,
and we don't. He's kind of unknowable and odd, and we're observing the world with him.
Yeah, as he experiences it.
Yeah. Well, we can't have them making peace.
Yeah.
And the coffins. Somehow I need people to use these coffins.
Right. And so this also messes up his plans, Yojimbo's plans. Look at his face. Yeah. This idea, it's convenient for the truce.
Well, it's such an odd thing of like the number of bad guys with swords compared to the number of people. It goes back to this thing we were talking about before. It's like, who's buying stuff? Like, where are the customers? Eventually, they got to make money. You know, it's like having a bar with 50 bouncers and 3 customers.
Yeah,
and
the same 3 customers.
Right. Now, who is that?
Right. Now this is how you enter into a movie.
Yeah. I'm sure there was some takes where there's like, ow, I got some in my eye.
Right.
It's dusted my eye.
I love what you said, man. 3 stages of Kurosawa leads all in one movie.
What's so funny to me is that the changes this guy goes through in the next 20 years of film.
Yeah.
One
of my greatest regrets was he came and did A Night at the New Beverly with Sword of Doom. And I did not go see him speak that night because I was dealing with some shit inside and I didn't go. And it's one of my biggest regrets because who knows how many years he has left on the planet.
Sure.
He's in his 90s.
Right.
And apparently it was a great Q&A and he was very on top of things.
And of course it's important he's got a revolver.
Yes.
Which is a kind of weapon, which shows that this is after America opened up Japan in the 1850s, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because there had been no trade with the outside world for like 200 years.
Right.
So the only muskets they only had muskets that were 1600s.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's this influx of modern weaponry. And that's part of why the Tokugawa shogunate fell.
You can see the historical documentary, The Last Samurai. That'll tell you what happened at that.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I remember loving it.
I love that movie. I get shit for it, but I love that movie.
There are problems with that movie, but
with any historical movie.
But one of the problems are not that it's not a well-made movie,
right?
Yeah.
And now we have what, these 2 guys that are they on both sides, on one side, or are they on opposite sides and they're friends? Like, what's the deal here?
Aren't these the guys that killed the magistrate and the other?
Oh yeah. And now this is the swordsman.
You're right.
From Seven Samurai.
It's Kyozo.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
That face is unmistakable.
And yet, he's a totally different kind of character.
Yep. You ever been hit with a bottle over the head?
No.
Just a question. No. I've seen it happen, but no.
Really? Like a real?
Yeah, bar fight in the military.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Those guys. Piss and vinegar in your 20s, man. Crazy shit happens in those bars.
Yeah,
God, the music is so good. The playful impending doom is just so great at that music.
Because so these are the guys that killed the magistrate in the other village. I can't believe that's Kyozo. He's playing such a ridiculous character. See, because they're just pawns.
Right.
And you think that he's killed these guys. But he's not.
No.
He just cut this guy's clothes open. And gave the other guy a little poke. You ever been stabbed with a samurai sword?
No, I've never been stabbed with a
I have.
Nor should I be. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stabbed?
I have. So I have a, cheap knockoff katana that my grandmother bought me in Japan.
Yeah.
And I was practicing doing the sheathing it, which is you go like this and then you slide it in.
Right.
And you guide the sword with kind of your hand, but you don't touch the blade. You kind of create a guide. And so I was practicing in front of a mirror. I'm like 18, and I'm practicing and I missed. And I went like this and I stuck the point into my side.
Oh,
maybe less than a quarter of an inch. And I looked down, and it's like I'm a freshman in college being an idiot.
yeah, right. Of course.
Just a major dork.
Yeah.
And I looked down and I just had this moment of like, there's a sword sticking in me.
That's a real moment.
And it bled a tiny, it's just it's the tiniest of scratches.
Did you have a shock and then just a slow scream?
No, because I was in my dorm at college and I very quietly put the sword away and never spoke. We'll never speak of this again.
Until the Cine-Files.
Got a nice little party going on.
Yeah.
The band is rocking.
These are all stolen
And
women.
again, the faces from Mifune are the best.
Well, the surreal nature of it all is what he's looking at. It's like, what is wrong with these people? Like, why would they even think to do anything like this? It's like what I felt when they had a rave at the beginning of Matrix Revolutions. I was like, what is this all about? Or Reloaded, rather.
Yeah, those movies.
Yeah.
I remember being so hopeful. And I remember after Reloaded going, no, that was good.
Yeah, right. You try to talk yourself into it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I think those are the biggest. It's hard to say what the biggest sequel disappointments are, but
that's one of them.
That's one of them.
Crystal Skull's another one.
Oh, that's the biggest for me.
Yeah. I still love that South Park episode where they had
my God, with Harrison
Spielberg
Ford
and Lucas raping Harrison Ford over and over again. Oh, it's such a shame.
I love how his reputation has just grown and grown.
Yeah. Even the big guy isn't like stepping up to him anymore.
But also, he hasn't done anything since the beginning. It's just...
Right. It's the fear of the possibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Another great shot.
Yeah. It's incredible. Like, how do you choose to light the middle of the stairs? Is it to put almost like a halo around him or a spotlight on him? Pseudo spotlight off the wood reflection. It's interesting.
Well, and the Mickey Mousing, which means stinging movements with music of him coming down these stairs.
Oh, good point.
One of Seibei's men overheard them and captured them. See, because he couldn't have known that that this guy had the magistrate killed.
Absolutely.
So he only found that out because this guy lets it slip, and then he happens to find. He didn't know that he was going to find the guys who killed the magistrate.
Right.
So the plan of I'm going to give him to the other guy and then get money from this guy to go get the guys that I already got.
Exactly.
He had to just be playing this by ear.
He has a dizzying intellect. He's still not committing to be the body.
No. He is tough as hell.
Right.
He's a little bit turned on by him.
Yeah, Nagada is so great. Look at the bags under his eyes, man.
I think they made him up to. They must have made him up to some degree to be older.
Maybe.
I mean,
he's a hard drinking man.
Yeah, it's true.
I wonder if they've ever done a biopic of Mifune in Japan. Because obviously there's been a couple of docs, but
beautiful swordsmanship. No. Ooh, there's some blood. The choice to hold the gun inside the kimono, not through the sleeve. The managing to cause a whole bunch of stuff to happen, but not actually doing much is a brilliant skill.
It's amazing. If you're good with words, it's amazing what you can influence people to do.
Or good with silence.
That too.
So now we've got something on the other guy.
Right.
And we're going to have an exchange. It's 2 a.m. Going to be an exchange.
Such an odd time.
And again, Sancho's done nothing.
Yeah.
He's caused all this to happen. He didn't have to do almost anything, and he got paid. Nope.
Just the gleeful joy he has just because he has a pistol.
I mean, I think at this time, a revolver is a superpower.
Of course.
Yeah.
Till you run out of bullets.
True.
Oh, that's good. What are those? Looks good, whatever it is.
I don't know. I bet it's a turnip or a...
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. He wrote half of the drama. And the other guy just rewrote the other half again. He's going with the flow.
Yep.
What I wonder is, was that stuff in that pot as hot as it looked? Because if it was that hot, it would burn the crap out of your mouth.
1 or 2 takes tops.
Yeah. Why would you have a dude call out, it's 2 a.m.?
Yeah, it's time to fight.
Well, does he on normal nights say it's 2 a.m.?
I don't think so. I think this was all set up.
I also wonder, how does he know what time it is?
That's a good question.
So this is shot day for night. So this is broad daylight.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because again, it's to have these long lens shots where everything is in focus.
Yeah.
You need tons and tons of light.
Wow.
So you stop down the aperture so it's really, really small, and that allows all this deep focus. And when you look at it, you see how it's clearly sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think we're going to bring out the now is that we're gonna trade this guy for the 2 guys that killed the magistrate. I think it's all going to go really well.
Sure. Once again, that music kicking in.
Yep.
But this time without the playful chords in it.
Yep.
This is more tense, but still overblown with those trumpets.
And it's also the formal construction of these shots.
Yeah.
They're everybody's placed in just the right spots. So should I push you forward, or do you let go of the rope, or how do we run this?
Oh.
See, and this is the thing, because they don't actually care about getting these guys back.
Right.
They're happy to have them dead. And now one side has a huge advantage.
Yeah.
But
they got his wife, right? Or his girlfriend or whatever. Or his sister? Who is she?
I think she's, some relationship to him.
And then just randomly. Like, this is so random.
Yeah.
This wasn't presented before at all. But we can tell by the reaction. We can tell by the music that this is... There's tragedy and romance in that music cue.
I think so. It's Ushitora, whatever. It's his girlfriend or mistress or something. And of course, Mifune's been watching the whole thing.
He said, "Oh, that was amusing. Wait till 2 a.m." And he's like, "Yeah, that was amusing."
One of the interesting things about the structure of this film is how little the main character does most of the time.
Great point.
You know. Now we're back to another face-off. Now we have like the broad daylight exchange. Again, just formal construction. Everything parallel. Everything they're moving in like almost. If you looked at it top down, it's all perfect shapes and perfect circles and spirals.
It's a Busby Berkeley samurai fight.
That's not a bad idea either. I don't know if we're ever doing a Busby Berkeley on the Cine-Files.
I don't think so either.
For those of you who don't know, go search on YouTube for Busby Berkeley. It's impressive. But I don't know if it's worth the Cine-Files. And now here's this whole other thing that we couldn't have known about.
Right.
You know? And he couldn't have known about. And just like you said before, we haven't been told any of this in advance, but we're going to figure it out right away.
Right. Yeah. This idea that he's, ashamed.
Yep. All right. This guy on a rope.
Yeah. Takashi again.
Woman on a rope. You ever been tied up?
I've never been part of a prisoner exchange, that's for sure.
So many experiences we haven't had.
Now, who's this guy? Is he one of the samurai? Seven samurai? I don't know.
And now we suddenly go, oh, that's his mom.
Right.
And the whole scene sort of shifts as you figure that out. Because you thought you were watching one thing, and now you go, oh no. When we hear that mommy.
Right.
And now it got real. It got serious.
It does. And you can hear it from the music against the tragedy.
Yeah.
Right. So the question is, who is this woman?
Yeah. And now the exchange just is going to happen real fast.
And look at Shimura. Look at just the way he plays her.
Yep. He looks so different too.
Yeah.
Well, and again, no one could have anticipated any of this.
Yeah.
I love that we have two mommy moments. We have the sweet one that's emotional, and then we have the mommy coward.
Yeah.
She's a sweet lady.
So what's the situation? Like, obviously, they bought her or they stole her.
Yep.
and she's like, what's his face's favorite.
Yeah. And being taken away.
Right.
Well, and I think this is the first moment where we feel any of the real pain of what this situation is.
Yes.
Up to this point, it's all been kind of fun. Yeah. Intentions have not gone down.
No.
I like the little pose.
So is this a friend of the restaurateur, or is it?
So he is a gambler.
Okay.
Well, I think we're about to find out his whole story.
Right.
So I think he gambled away his wife.
Yeah. So here we find out.
What's interesting that it's just because we just did Seven Samurai is he is like the flip side of Rikichi.
Right.
You know, because Rikichi had his wife stolen by bandits.
Right.
And this guy's wife is taken by bandits, except it's this guy's fault.
Right.
Because he gambled away his wife.
Oh, my God. Wow.
This is just horrible.
Right. The shame of it.
Yeah. But whereas Rikichi we can't really like this guy. You can feel for him.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Right. He takes his punishment every time.
You ever gambled away a person?
No. Certainly not a wife. Nor would I.
I mean, what if you had like a really good hand?
You never know, man. That's why I never bet. I lost rent money one time and never bet again.
Smart.
Yep.
It's a bad. I heard a lecture from a mathematician whose job, other than being a professor, was to help them design the odds perfectly for Vegas games.
Yeah.
You know, so that what he said in this lecture was, if you play one or two hands of this or one or two slot, any game, he can't predict what's going to happen.
Right.
But the longer you play, the more exactly you will come to hit that over time, you will lose 51.6% of the time or whatever it is. Right. And hearing that kind of killed gambling for me.
Of course.
I was like, oh, so eventually you will go to that average and you will lose.
Yep.
And here we are again. Do they just hang out at these stairs all the time? So I think now he has a new goal.
Yes.
You know, because now there's the kid and the woman, and he's like, this is where he genuinely, I think before, it's not that he wasn't trying to do a good thing, but I think he was doing it for the fun and the challenge.
Sure.
Here, he's actually trying to save somebody.
Which is also brilliant story work by Kurosawa, right? How much longer could this have gone on with just the two idiot factions going at each other? You needed some human connection here.
Right.
And bringing that family in gives it that element.
Right. Yeah, you change the whole dynamic here. And
the stakes feel real now.
Yeah, and of course, this is also what leads to his downfall.
Yes.
You know?
Which he teases, by the way. Just a minute or two ago when he said, I hate men like that. Right. Because he used to be a man like that. He was a man like that. Right? Just like in Seven Samurai, it was like, oh, I hate the farmers. Like Rikuchi, right? When he's yelling at them for crying and stuff. It's because he used to be that.
Right. Right. I'll just go along. And I love that he's A, said 6 guys are not enough, and B, kind of figured out what the defenses are.
Right. I love the whole physical character of this.
Yeah.
Is brilliant. The way he walks, all of it is watching it as an actor is brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Oh, this scene is great.
I gotta go beat him up.
He's such an idiot.
Oh, in front of the kid.
God, I know.
All 6 men have been killed.
Without even checking.
Yeah. And why would he?
Yeah, right.
And, he just came up with this plan.
I love the way...
This fight scene is great.
It's so incredible.
That sword cut is beautiful.
When he's
Look how he moves through space.
Yeah, and when he's really going to fight, the body completely changes, right?
Get your husband and run. He's like, come on, I told you to go. How much time do you think we got? What's interesting to me, I wonder why he didn't do any slow motion, because we talked about his really using slow motion in the scene with the thief and the scene in Seven Samurai with the Master Swordsman.
Yeah.
And that fight is super fast.
Yeah.
And done. See, this is truly altruistic, what he's doing here.
Yes.
And this is what is going to get him in trouble.
Mm-hmm. They don't leave, do they?
They do. They write a letter.
Right.
Let's wreck some stuff. I think we said this before. This to me is like Orson.
Yeah.
In Citizen Kane.
Oh, this is you. This is happening to. Okay. Yes and no.
I knew how to handle him.
You're awful funny, aren't you?
I can't imagine more different filmmakers than Orson Welles and Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah. The commonality is they're both master filmmakers. That's the thing. Kurosawa more than Welles, in my opinion. But
it's like, I don't think there's any movie like Citizen Kane. But Kurosawa makes so many great films.
Yes.
And Welles does not.
No.
You watched Other Side of the Wind, right?
Yes.
There are shots in that movie where I went like, there it is.
Yeah.
There's that Orson Welles eye.
Yeah.
It's just like, I can't believe how amazing this is. And that movie I don't understand what the hell's going on in that film at all.
Which is basically all of his 70s films.
Yeah. Well, I understand what's going on as F is for fake.
Right.
Because it's this weird essay thing. But yeah, the later films are just sort of like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, right. And don't gamble.
Yeah. I mean, unless you got a really good hand, in which case, maybe put the kid up next time.
How much is 30 real at that time, too? I wonder.
That's a good question. I don't have
Is it enough to really start over?
1880 exchange rate.
Oh, my God. Now I have to look it up.
I don't know. I don't know if things go back that
Ryo to dollars. I want to find out.
He did a pretty good job setting the stage.
He did.
I love 6 men weren't enough. See, I told you.
Yep.
Who would you rather hang out with, assuming you could speak Japanese? Kurosawa or Orson Welles?
Kurosawa.
See, I want to hang out with Orson.
I think I would have... Well, because I enjoy interviewing people, I think I would enjoy Kurosawa more. But then again...
But he wasn't a good interview from what I
understand. Yeah, right.
I'd
have to get Kurosawa to drink.
Oh, he would drink.
Then he would...
Well, so would Orson, I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
But Orson wouldn't tell you one true thing at all the whole night.
And now there's the fire. Again, these things that we see in Kurosawa films.
Yeah.
Rain, wind, fire. This is a great setup, though. I'm burning down your stuff because I thought you stole the girl and you didn't steal the girl.
Right.
I love. He's just continuously smirking
all the time.
It's a perma smirk.
He loves it.
So again, it's a long lens, and that's why the fire looks so close.
Right.
And now we're destroying the sake. So we've destroyed the silk and we've destroyed the sake. So the main 2 points of wealth in this town.
On both sides.
Yeah. I'm sure the direction was just run around and do stuff. You're not going to actually succeed in stopping anything. I wonder how many takes they had to do with this. Oh, the hammer is going to help. The hammer will work.
A Rio was a gold coin.
Yeah.
It was worth 4 koku. So, and 1 koku was
rice, right?
330 pounds of rice.
All right. So, no, we can figure this out.
Yes.
How many koku was this?
4 koku is 1 Rio.
Okay. So 330, 1,200, 1,320 pounds of rice.
Uh-huh.
So how much would a pound of rice cost today in dollars?
Good point. Maybe $3, $4.
Okay. So that was a ryu is about based on that it'd be about $4,000.
Yeah. Jesus.
I'd like that we kind of figured this out. So 30 ryu, that was a ton of money.
Yeah.
If we're doing this math right.
It says if based on the rice standard, it is worth 330 pounds times 0.50 cents dollars per pound, which is $165. If based on the gold content, it had around 9 grams of gold due to debasement. So that's $378 per Rio. If we exchange the Rio for silver, 200 grams of silver, there's $132. So in modern times, 30 Rio was $4,000.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
That's enough to start your life over.
Sure.
At that time.
And now the coffin guy is screwed.
Yeah.
Because there are too many dead bodies and nobody's buying coffins. Well, and this is where I go like, is this town better?
Right.
You know? Yeah, you're out of sake because they got rid of all the sake. Oh, no, he's still got some.
What's he mad about? The coffin guy. He can't get paid to bury these dead bodies. He lives off this battle happening.
Right.
So I don't have sympathy for him. He wants the fight to continue.
And now the innkeeper's kind of digging this. He's like, this is going well.
Yeah. Oh, now all of a sudden.
So now the innkeeper knows about him helping the girl, right, which is, of course, the worst possible thing. And he's brought this letter.
Right.
And let's just leave it out there.
Which is what my problem is with this. This is a bit of a story convenience in the film that I didn't 100% like. Because I think if this is actually Yojimbo, he picks that thing up and throws it in the fire.
Right. Without
even reading it.
And he doesn't like that his cred is getting watered down. Right. And particularly as soon as that door opens, you should grab the letter.
Exactly. As subtly as possible, but yes.
Yeah. That is a unibrow of all unibrows.
The teeth are everything. Let me see if I've got that right. I know that's got to be him from Seven Samurai.
What I like is as the war has escalated, he just is kind of disconnected. He's probably sitting in the inn.
Doing his thing.
Yeah. So now they know that the wife and husband and kid are gone together.
Mm-hmm. So he was Shichiroji.
Oh, he's Shichiroji.
He's Shichiroji.
He's not Heihachi.
No.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Now I can see it.
He is also in Rashomon. He's described as Ushitora's rotund brother.
Okay. So they're starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
And he starts to go for that sword. So even without the letter, they figured it out.
Yeah.
It seems like. The letter is just sort of the final bit of proof.
He's smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's brought into this thing.
He's probably the smartest of the bad guys.
Yes.
More than the bosses. Or the wife. They're trying to make, that's a good move. Put that bottle over the letter. It's a really interesting angle with the hand in the foreground in the corner of the table, past the bottle to his face.
Right.
Oh, that was not a smooth move, innkeeper. Dough. And again, Mifune's look, because the camera's moved up, so he's in frame now.
Right. But this only reinforces that he shouldn't have helped these people out.
Yep. And now we cut to, or wipe to.
Yeah.
It's later. We got our guys gambling in the foreground, our giant and our brother. And who's that lying down on the floor? And then we suddenly go, oh.
Yep.
And he turns his head towards camera, and we see it's bruised and beaten.
Wow. And it's great, too, because just when he's riding high, just when he's become this, white knight, so to speak, we put him into an underdog position by having him beat up and, all this, and being two common bodyguards taking care of him.
By the way, that was just a good example of the expression of hang a lantern on it, which is if you have something that seems weird in your movie, you have someone say it. So this guy says, are you sure it's okay not to have him tied up?
Oh.
And the other guy says, oh, no, he's nothing without his sword. Right. And because the first thing we're thinking is, why aren't they tying this guy up? That is called hang a lantern on it. I don't know what it's called in Japanese.
I call it a neon sign in my world.
Yeah. And he starts to get up. I mean, the idea that you say that this guy's nothing without his sword.
Yeah.
Like someone who trains for decades to be good with a sword, probably good with other stuff too.
Yeah.
But I think we're also about to see the power of the giant.
Also, not needing to move quickly. Also patient, not doing much through the movie. Quiet himself, the giant, until he has to be. Have you ever been beaten up by a giant?
I have not been beaten up by a giant. I did spar with a 300+ pound football player once.
Oh my God.
And it was so weird because I've always been the bigger, stronger guy sparring with someone who's faster and lighter.
Yeah.
And so I had to go like, oh, I'm the little guy. I have to totally.
What do I do now?
What do I do? Yeah, he was like a lineman for, was it Ole Miss? I forget.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So he was just a college kid.
He was in his, we were both, it was when I was shooting a film in North Carolina, and he was the dolly grip. Really nice guy.
Right.
And we just started talking about martial arts. He's like, oh yeah, I got a black belt in karate. And then we just started playing around, and then suddenly we were kind of sparring. I'm like, man, this guy's huge.
I have a tendency to want to go after big guys, mount them, climb their back, and just start strangling them. Is a thing I have. It's weird.
Well, it's not a bad strategy.
It's a male thing. Want to climb that mountain? You just want to climb that mountain.
It's a good line. You could trust him. He's out to save his own skin.
Yeah. It's a fair point you make, actually, Steve, now. Because Shimura is they're not vibrant scenes or really memorable
he's just
scenes.
a guy.
Whereas Pacino makes everything memorable when he's in it. But Shimura's in service of the piece.
He's coming in to play a small part.
Yep.
And guys got to work, and it's
sure.
nice that Kurosawa hires him. It's just it's like it's only 7 years after you were the lead in the movie,
right?
And I don't know if he's been a lead. I don't know what movies are in between, and what his parts in them were.
I've never been beaten up like that.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah,
I've taken some hits,
sure,
but I've never been beaten up.
Yeah, I've never been on the ground, like unable to get up or something.
That's a strong guy.
I've been submitted.
Yeah, I have too.
That's for sure. But I've never been beaten up like that.
I was choked out twice.
Wow, shit! I've never had that.
Yeah, it was weird.
I've never passed out or been choked out.
The weird one. So I had a Aikido instructor, and he had a pin on me, and he had like my arm in a joint lock, and he had his foot at my throat, and he was standing, and I was on the ground, and he said, and I've got my ankle against his carotid artery, and I just apply pressure and choked me out. So and he's telling me to tap. To tap means say, okay, I'm done. Right. And I didn't feel anything. And so I didn't tap. He's like, no, you should really tap or I'm going to choke you out. He's like, no, and then, and I was out. And then they were tapping my feet and waking me up. And I was just like, it was so weird.
We got to reboot this guy.
That was exactly what happened.
I've gotten up too fast and almost passed out. That's for sure.
I have passed out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It happened twice where I kind of stood up out of bed. And it happened in front of my son.
Oh, no.
So we were all kind of in the bed together because he was sleeping with us. He was 2 or 3. I stood up and then immediately fell forward and I was on the ground.
Wow.
And Jax looked down at me and said, that was funny. Do it again. And I had and I was like, why does my chest hurt? And I'd slammed into the nightstand in the center of my chest and fallen off. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You fully went down.
I went down.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I get out of bed in a 2-step process. Sit up first,
swing over,
and then make sure that I'm okay, and then I stand up. It was really weird. Jax thought it was hilarious. All right, so he has clearly had the crap beaten out of him.
Yeah, and this is a rare Mifune with the hair down and the whole nine, just looking so disheveled.
And he's gotten up. And he's got no way to get out.
Right.
They've left him alone. And then that light hits his face.
I feel like has a concussion, man. How can you know?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No, definitely. And what does he see? We hear the music. We know that he sees something. Yeah. Perfect eye light on his right eye.
And the eye goes wide as much as possible.
And suddenly he's got a plan. There's this chest. I think on some weird level, and I have no evidence for this, that Sanjuro wanted something like this to happen.
Yeah.
I think that his decision when he threw that stick up and his decision to stay in this town is on some level testing himself.
Yeah.
And I think now it's a real test.
Well, these guys live for the fight. These guys live, some of them lived for this kind of thing,
And our bad guys come back, and he is I love that his kimono is stuck in the chest, and he pulls it in.
So brilliant.
Whenever you see candles moving around in movies, that usually means that there's someone moving lights to create the light, because the candle light isn't enough to create all this light in the room. So someone's moving a light around to match his movements with the candle.
Right.
See, that was a huge sweep of light coming from that little candle. And now he's going to find a way to get underneath the floor, I think.
Right. Great. Love the music.
And I love his hair.
Yeah.
It's fully kind of kabuki-ish at this point.
Great point, man. Yeah. See, the music cues are so great with the dread when they need to have them, playful when they need to have them. It's just so essential to these Kurosawa films. And I don't think it gets enough conversation when people break down these movies, how much the music really helps. I've heard commentaries, they don't even mention the music, and it's just it's mind-blowing to me.
And again, we have light coming through slats, and it's just a theme throughout the whole film.
This is what we call pulling an Andy Dufresne. We call him through a river to come out clean on the other side, son.
Have you done top 10 escapes?
Oh, good question. No, we haven't.
That'd be a good one.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
It'd be tough not to have Andy Dufresne as number one.
True.
But there's some good escapes. Mm-hmm. There's even a few great escapes.
Hey-oh. There's even an escape plan. No, I shouldn't mention that. That's
Escape from the Planet of the Apes?
No. The Stallone Schwarzenegger.
Oh, geez. I saw that movie. There were certain charms in that film.
There was a sequel.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know
with
that.
Stallone and Dave Bautista.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder what. So we said when we did Seven Samurai that Kurosawa's intention was to do an entertainment that was about something, and this one seems like he wanted to do an entertainment.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
I think so until the family gets involved.
Well,
then there's something more.
A little bit, but that's sort of classic hero gonna save the people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't think it doesn't make you think deeply about anything.
That's actually fair.
You know, the interesting things that just occurred to me, because he does so much day for night, is if you do day for night in color film, you have to deal with the color temperature of daylight, because daylight is blue. The color of daylight is very blue, whereas nighttime light, particularly incandescent lights or fire, is always gold, warm colors.
Yeah.
And so whenever you're shooting day for night, you have to film it so the blue is balanced towards the gold, so it looks like nighttime.
I just love the fact that we just saw him crawl like a dog across the thing, which is what he'd been compared to and called.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, and now this is going to be dangerous for this guy. Look at the lighting on his face and how his face looks with that makeup.
Yeah.
Still got a sense of humor.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Good that we have these little slides. You ever drunk water from a dipper?
Yes, in the military, many times.
I have too. You know what we're going to need is a coffin.
Oh, yeah, good call.
And don't be as dumb as you were with that letter.
I mean, what the hell?
I like to call them 2-bit. What's funny about 2-bit is that refers to a quarter.
Yes.
But so it doesn't really make sense. It's always interesting to see how things are translated, because there's so much colloquialism that then they have to find a matching colloquialism, and some of them don't make any sense. I see it with my students all the time, where they'll use phrases from their culture translated to English, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like it says, oh, he was really touching fire there. I was like, well, it's not an expression here. It means something in Chinese or something.
He was touching fire. Fire.
Here's a basic rule. When you're hiding someone, don't immediately jump up the second that people leave and start doing stuff quickly. You need to keep it cool a little longer.
It kind of sells you out a little bit.
Yeah. Again, the lighting is amazing. They almost make him inhuman.
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, he's not dying yet.
Yeah. Huh? Oh.
Yeah. Is that the mayor or is that the timekeeper guy?
It's not the mayor.
Okay.
I don't think it's the mayor.
Timekeeper guy.
Japanese coffins are different.
Yeah.
More violence going on all around us.
No, I mean, it's so insane that he's like, I want to watch. And then he's going to lift up from them. I mean, it's so crazy what he's doing. Move further out. I mean, these poor dudes. Good God.
Just the stuff in the background. Again, it's just handled in this ridiculous way.
Right. But it's also to get us to see what's happening too from this perspective and how horrific it kind of looks right now.
Well, horrific and incompetent.
Yes.
It doesn't, it's like, okay, this part is horrific.
Yes. They're just waiting for him, smoking him out.
Well, and this is same as Seven Samurai, actually.
Right. Death by 1,000 blades.
But the music is not serious. The music is, the tone is so odd.
Yeah. It's almost adventure-like.
There's that gun.
Cheating little bastard with that gun.
Because the guy really had a chance.
Yep.
And here come the women out of the smoke.
Right. Doesn't the wife come out?
I think so.
As the last one. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Oh.
And we didn't particularly like her.
No.
But we didn't like seeing that either.
But being killed from behind like that is terrible.
There's no reason to trust these guys at all.
Right.
Great shot of him coming out of the smoke.
Oh. I mean, watching his parents die right in front of him. Insane. Oh. Where is he getting bullets, by the way? I'd like to know.
It's a great question. Because he seems to have an endless supply.
Yes. And now here's where we got... It was good when they were like at a détente, right? But once one is finally killing them in such a brutal fashion, they're immediately the villains fully.
Right.
And so we're back in the camp of wanting to see what Sanjuro will do for revenge.
Well, and really, Sanjuro's lie of tell them I went to Seibe's is what just got all those people killed.
Yes, right.
Right. And they were bad people.
Right, exactly.
But it's still sort of a weird. Yeah. We're short a guy. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, he ran around.
I love this bit.
Yeah.
Talk him into helping you.
He's like, just try it. Just in case. Because he's an idiot. He's just wandering around. He's not sure what to do. He's like, I don't have anyone to kill. Where am I going?
Hey, what you doing? This is some good manipulation.
Yeah.
He didn't handle that letter thing well, but he's handling this very well.
He's making up for it.
Yeah. I love, too, that planting the seed of you're afraid of the dead people is what gets him to do this. But then it actually scares the crap out of him too.
It's the simple tasks that he's good at.
You ever carried a body?
I've carried a person, not a body. They weren't dead.
I was a pallbearer once.
Oof. Ooh, I don't remember. Did I for Joey? No, I don't think I did. I didn't for my dad, obviously, because he was cremated.
Mm.
Never mind. I'm not going to say.
Okay. Brother's going to beat me. And he gets rid of him. Well played, innkeeper. Good job. Again, you can tell it's a long lens because he doesn't, it seems like he's not going very far, even though he's running and his size doesn't change.
Right. When you're setting up a shot like that, how many times are you testing it out to the action to make sure it looks?
You got to practice it. Well, because your focus puller, well, actually, that was mostly in focus, but a focus puller has to stay with the movement. So you got to practice it.
Right.
And you got to get the speed of the actor right and the camera operator. It takes practice.
Right.
That's one of the things I think my students do the least, which is like, no, you have to do it over and over again. Make sure that everything is right in the frame from the beginning until the end.
Right.
And the only way you can do that is to rehearse it and practice it.
Yeah.
Even with great cameramen and great actors. It's even worse when you smile.
Yeah, he does. He looks like some kind of ghost.
And there he goes.
Which is, of course, ironic in the cemetery.
Yeah. And now time is going to pass.
Have you ever seen any good Japanese ghost films? Horror films, like Japanese, like from this time period?
No.
Like Ugetsu and stuff? Oh, man, those are...
I think I did see Ugetsu a long time ago.
Those are scary.
That shot is filmed in reverse, by the way.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It would have been like 30 takes.
At least. Well, and it's a knife on a string that he actually is pulling out of the leaf with wind, and that makes the...
I also think, Steve, and this is me, I also think this is great symbolism. As you said at the beginning, he was flowing with the wind.
Yeah.
Now he's going to make a stronger choice about what he's going to do. And that knife is stopping the leaf. Yeah. This is him stopping the flow. He's going to choose now.
We hear Gonji's in trouble.
Oh.
And of course, it's his fault. See, and this is the family, and this is him being heroic.
Yep.
Rather than him being sort of an unknowable person.
Yeah.
And what do we have? A sword.
I like that he says he's going to make sashimi out of them with the knife. Oh, now we go.
We got that music.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, that's the West.
And this is, look at that wind.
Yeah, man.
Apparently these were huge airplane propellers.
Oh, really?
It's like 3 or 4 of them. There's tons of wind.
Oh, shit. I forget if they hung him.
I don't think so. I think he's tied. It's like that guy's like, who are you even yelling to at this point? It's great foreground, background.
Yeah. And now what do you use? Do you use a long lens for that?
That's the lenses are still relatively long because you see that there's still size change.
All the way,
yeah. So long lenses tend to flatten space out. But this is wider because you see his head is about the size of their bodies, and his body way in the background is about the size of their head. So that's a wider lens.
Oh, hell's gonna break loose now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dudes.
Yeah.
One who's a giant with a hammer, and the other is a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
And this is the Old West,
And this is the first time we're hearing this like cymbal.
Yep. Look at that dust going through. That's just crazy.
It's great.
Yeah.
Build up into the fight.
Glad the innkeeper's okay.
Yeah.
Knowing who not to kill is an important thing for a filmmaker.
Yes.
You know?
As important as knowing who to kill.
Yeah. I remember when we did Siren years ago, which is the web series I did, I killed Mike Ross in an episode. And then as I'm editing, I'm like, we can't kill that guy. And I had to go reshoot it so that he lived.
Yeah, it's tough to kill Mike Ross.
Yeah. I mean, you might want to sometime.
Yeah, of course. As we found out on Christmas Vacation in certain moments. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to be this guy walking down in slow motion towards a fight. It's just so awesome.
I had an Aikido class where basically the whole class we just practiced walking. Heel to toe, moving as smoothly, like trying to move just like water across the mat.
Right.
Rolling your heel to your toe and moving your other foot and having nothing else in your body move. I was drenched in sweat.
Wow.
It was so exhausting.
Sure.
Don't come any closer.
Right.
He's got to make him miss that first shot.
Can you hit a moving target?
Yeah.
Right.
Got the knife in the arm. Again, cut through the space.
I mean, it's just quick movements.
Yep.
Precise.
And then this dude, it's like, you see everybody else has died.
Ugh.
And now this is the guy that we met at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Who left his father, who said, I don't want to be a farmer.
Right. Great point.
And he says, go home. That movement of sheathing that sword, that's how I stabbed myself.
Yeah.
Not quite dead. So here's what's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I think he asks for his gun.
Yeah.
And tells him, don't worry, there are no more bullets in it. But Mifune Sanjuro knows that still has bullets in it. He's not dumb.
He's just confident. Look at the blood streaming out from him.
Yeah. Oh. Well, and yeah, it's crazy. Well, and I think it's the same kind of rolling the dice thing that's his nature.
Right. Well, he betrays that, right? When he sees the gambler or says, I hate people like that. He might have done that. He might have gambled, or he was maybe a gambler. So he still is a gambler.
He is a gambler. I mean, he's not I don't think he sits down and plays cards.
Right.
He gambles with lives.
He plays with higher stakes.
Yeah. That was me.
It's weird that Kurosawa...
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He gives him a nobility.
Mm-hmm.
The death of nobility.
We just sit in this moment for a while.
Yeah.
And there's that smile. See, because even at this moment, he could kill him. He could take that gun away.
Right.
This is Russian roulette. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right. He's confident in what he's done. That's why.
See, and I think he's accepted, I'm either going to live or I'm going to die in this moment.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And this moment is just crazed. You ever insanely beaten a drum in the middle of a town square?
No. Now, is this the guy who was the time code guy? Or is this the mayor?
I
think it's the mayor.
No, I think it's the main bad guy. I think it's...
Oh. He just lost without
just
everything
lost
now.
all those people.
Yeah.
No, that's the time code guy.
Right.
Because he's got his... You could see he's got his sticks. Yeah, I don't think there's a town here anymore.
Yeah.
Like... What does that mean? I don't need any prayers.
Well, he knows he's an evil man. He doesn't merit them. That's the guy.
Oh, I think you're right.
Right.
So maybe that is the mayor.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's been in service of those people for so long. Yeah. So that was the boss that he killed. And maybe they took his wife, or maybe they took his family. Or,
maybe.
Yeah.
Again, they call him 2-bit.
How is he still talking?
Yeah. Be waiting for you at the gates of hell.
Right.
I don't know that he really has the right to call anybody else reckless. I mean, everything he's done in this movie has been pretty risky. Go hang yourself.
Right, that's the timekeeper there. He's yelling at
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be quiet. It's like only like 4 people left. Nice. Cutting those ropes. Well, it's a long lens, so he probably is about 2-foot gap between that. And there's just a little, and the guy's just holding the ropes and just drops them. I love this music cue and just walking away.
Yeah. Also, again, symbolic. The town was, beholden to this. They were tied up to this thing. Now cutting the ropes is...
Sure, he's freed the town.
He's freed the town, yeah. For better or worse.
Yeah.
As you said earlier. Yeah.
So, we have reached the end of Yojimbo.
Yes. Great movie.
I hope you enjoyed our commentary track on Yojimbo. We will probably do another one a year from now. Yeah. And if you want to hear more commentary tracks, we can do more of them. Just,
Sure. If you're willing to pony up.
Yeah, if there's a strong movement. Yeah, it's speaking of which, we'd love to hear what you think of Yojimbo. Do you want to do some final thoughts?
Sure. Why not? This was a lot of fun to talk with you, Steve, on. And also, I haven't seen it in forever. Didn't feel like an hour and 50 minutes at all. And I can't believe we're already done with it. It's such a fantastic film that has action moments, but it's the waiting for the action that keeps you on the edge of your toes throughout the entire movie. And it takes a certain kind of filmmaker to understand how to use the medium in such a way to make you feel as if you have been on this like ride the whole time. And certainly that happens throughout the whole movie. And it's great to see Mifune again in his prime. I can never get enough of him doing that. And the little shoulder shake isn't as pronounced as I remember it being. So it is there. But it's there just to give him a little bit of character. It's not overused, which I think is brilliant. So
it's really funny. I think it's really great watching this right after doing Seven Samurai.
Yeah,
because here you see. I'm trying to think if there is a filmmaker who moves more easily between tones than Kurosawa. You know, like certainly there are filmmakers that evolve over time and change. But like here we have 2 movies, both samurai movies, both with Toshiro Mifune, and they are just totally different in tone.
Yes,
totally
absolutely.
different. This is funny and adventurous, and the character is kind of amoral in lots of ways, and yet heroic in lots of ways, and it's definitely aware of itself as a film, and that you're watching it, and that it's fun.
Yeah.
And also really violent.
Yes.
So that's what we think of Yojimbo. Of course, we'd love to hear what you think. Visit us on our Facebook page. Do a search for the Cine-Files. Please subscribe to the show on iTunes or YouTube or Google Play or Spotify. If you want to support the show and maybe help us figure out what our next director will be in January of 2021, support the show on patreon.com/thecine-files. You can also request Cine-Files shorts. I think we're about to record one right after this and talk about I'd like to talk about some other things we missed about Seven Samurai. So if you want to find out some other Seven Samurai thoughts, the best place is on patreon.com/thecine-files. Of course, you can always reach me at SR Morris on Twitter and SR Morris1 on Instagram. John, where can they reach you?
You can always reach me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And I can encourage you all enough to please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/John Roca Says. So much coming down the pike. So many great shows that I've been brainstorming about that are going to be coming here in the month of February. So please go subscribe there and give it some love. I would appreciate it.
And I think that is it for our month of Kurosawa. And we will see you next time on the Cine-Files.